Stafford and Puka Nacua square off with Derrick Henry and Kyle Hamilton in this interconference showdown. Los Angeles Rams are coming off of a very tough, emotional loss to the San Francisco 49ers at home at SoFi. Meanwhile, the Baltimore Ravens lost last week in a horrid fashion to the Houston Texans after they had already had a very tough loss to the Kansas City Chiefs, a game which, as it looks like, could be devastating to their entire season. So, of course, the main storyline in this one is Lamar Jackson even going to play? As of the recording of this video, I've got to make a game time decision of what I think is going to be a Lamar Jackson-less Baltimore Ravens for this preview and prediction. Frankly, I could be wrong about that, but as it looks, the bye week coming up next, they sat him last week. It all points towards me making the assumption that sitting him this week does make the most sense. Can you somehow pull off a win against the Rams team? Now let's talk about the Ravens and their options in this game. They are very limited on the defensive side of the football with injuries to their key players. I mean, this is a Ravens team that came into the season with incredibly high expectations as a unit. You know about all that talent. You add Malachi Starks into the back end. Mike Green could have been the best defensive steal in the draft in the second round. He might end up being that, but all the talk was going to be the Baltimore Ravens are a unit that could be incredible, adding even more talent to that. That's not at all been the case. Teams are running the ball. Explosive plays on Baltimore have been there the entire season. They can't get stops. You look at the stats and you immediately see that, this Ravens team, 10th in the league in yards per game, amongst the last in the NFL in points a game allowed. They've just been terrible on the defensive side of the football. And it does not help when, for some reason, as an offense, you just forget about Derrick Henry in the second half of football games. You have to remember that this guy is so good with the football in his hands. Los Angeles is preparing for a Derrick Henry 27 carry game if Lamar Jackson's not playing. I guarantee you that, because Cooper Rush, all respect to the guy, did not look very good. 3 interceptions, completion percentage at about 50%. Did his team no favors against, again, that's probably the best defense in the NFL as of right now. The Rams know it very well in that game that they beat Houston earlier in the season, 14-9. They were scrappy. Houston is leading the league in scoring on defense by 4 points. They're giving up 12 points a game. Next closest team is giving up 16 points. This Rams offense has to take advantage of the mismatch that we have between talent at the quarterback position. Matthew Stafford was unbelievable against San Francisco, which begged the question, why did you take the ball out of Stafford's hands and hand it off to Kyren Williams when your completion percentage rate to Puka Nacua is absurd? It is off the charts. Frankly, I don't know if I can remember a season like this. It reminds you of Stafford and Cooper Kupp back when they won the Super Bowl. 52 receptions on 62 targets between Stafford and Nacua, well over 80%. That means it's like an 86% chance you complete a pass to Nacua. Why not just do that on 4th and 1, try and pick up 4 yards, and if it's covered, you still got a bona fide Davante Adams number 1 threat wide receiver to go to. He'd be the number 1 wide receiver for probably still another 14, 12, somewhere in the low teens in the NFL still. He's a massive weapon for him. This advantage that they have on the outside against practically any defense that they go up against is a starter. Now, when Puka Nacua catches the football at this rate, of course, a defense will game plan to try and take that away. All right, how do we make sure that we take Puka Nacua away? It's just so hard to do that when the Rams can run the football the way that they have. I know Kyren Williams puts the football on the ground, fumbled twice, fumbles at the goal line, and you could say cost the Rams a game. He had a really big drop in that one against San Francisco. He's just made a very bad habit of coughing up the ball in key moments, like in the playoffs against Philly last year. Blake Corum, same exact thing, had a big fumble on the toss, didn't quite fumble it because he didn't have the possession of the ball. I guess that one goes on Stafford, but it's in his hands. You got to pick that one up, but they are running the football effectively. They have great balance. Sean McVay a Shanahan-style offense is always going to be run-oriented first. I think that they can definitely have that balance against this Baltimore defensive front with no Madubuike for the rest of the season. The linebacker concerns, of course, Roquan Smith, the injury, and that's too bad because this guy, if he were out there healthy on the field, this is, again, a guy that's been a little bit criticized lately, maybe a lot criticized by people at his level of play. Has he dropped off a little bit? I still think he's one of the premier inside backers in the game. Could be biased just because I just love athletic and rangy backers that have a knack for contact and are sure-handed tacklers when they get their hands on somebody. Roquan has missed a couple. But again, a guy like that you don't have, the Rams can take advantage. Terrence Ferguson had a nice grab for the Rams against San Francisco. They have all of these tight ends that they can go to with Higbee and Davis Allen and Colby Parkinson. They've got an arsenal of weapons of this offense. Tutu Atwell is getting a larger role in this system. Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford has so much to go to. And you've got your number 2 wide receiver that through 5 games, he's got 357 yards and 3 touchdowns on the season. And the man is on pace for a 1,000-yard year, 12 touchdowns. That is not too shabby to have in your number 2 wide receiver in Davante Adams. I frankly think that the Rams are going to win this game solely because of higher quality quarterback play. I haven't even gotten to the defensive side of the ball. So you have your backup quarterback, right? Your responsibility as a backup quarterback typically is to not give the game away. You're going to be a game manager. Sustain enough drives. Don't turn the football over. If it's not there, throw it away or take the sack. Try and limit the negative plays. We'll play some defense. But when you're facing a high-caliber team like LA, it doesn't look like this team is going to beat themselves again like they did against San Francisco, again like they did against Philadelphia, giving away those 2 games that were very winnable for them to come out and win. The Colts, that this was a team that you saw. Like, that's why I'm not so down on LA with those 2 bad losses, because after the Philly loss and before the Niners loss, sandwiched in between those was a nice win against a Colts team where they were dealing with adversity throughout the game, honestly kind of outplayed by Indianapolis, and they found a way to get the win. So LA, there's a lot of high character guys, culture players in that room. They're establishing something incredible there. And I think that maybe the best unit on this team, besides that receiving core or their quarterback, is the defensive line. They have monsters up there. They will have a very tough test, and everyone will look at the success Saquon Barkley has had, not in the last meeting, but overall against them running the football. Can Derrick Henry have that type of game against Los Angeles? It's going to be up to Byron Young, to Kobe Turner, to Braden Fisk, to Jared Verse, who might be the best defensive player in the NFC at the moment. This guy off the edge, he's unbelievable. To see a second-year player with that much strength and power to dominate grown men, 29-year-old seasoned offensive linemen, and move them at will with his 31 reps at the combine of 225. He's an unbelievable force off the edge and a game wrecker. It's a tough task for Baltimore to handle that, but again, give a chance. See what Derrick Henry can do. No team is running the football less on the early downs than Baltimore. They're just not giving the football enough to Derrick Henry. In a game like this where you've got the backup in Cooper Rush, you need to rely on that. And then the extension of the run, the quick out passes to Mark Andrews for a gain of 5 to 6, to Zay Flowers, letting him touch the football and run with it. You'll need to have that at some point. You have to score touchdowns. If you get down into the red zone, if there's a turnover, you got to score touchdowns and not kick field goals. The way that Baltimore wins this game is it's ugly. There's takeaways. It is really sloppy, and you'll win it 20-17. Cooper Rush comes up with a couple big throws. Defense comes up with a big way, taking the ball away, and Derrick Henry has a big one. Otherwise, I see LA in a blowout, and that is what I am predicting. The Rams win 34-13. They handle business at Baltimore. The Ravens are then on the brink. The bye week comes at a much-needed time to try and get some bit of health injected into them. That at 1-5 would be one of the most shocking starts to a team. But again, with the injuries that they have had and the way they've played as a defense, it's not hard to see. The Ravens are 4-10 without Lamar Jackson since 2018 when he came into the league, remember now. So this is a guy that's been pivotal to their success, two-time MVP. They need him on the field. So when he's not, and especially going up against one of the best teams in football despite the 2 losses, very tough ask. Let me know down below in the comments whether you enjoy this Blitz with Blinder video. I'm Josh Blinder. Whether or not you agreed with my prediction, do you think Baltimore can some way pull it out, or the margin is closer, or do you agree you think the Rams pull out the win here? I appreciate you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe for more NFL content. I make college and NFL videos every day. I appreciate you guys so much for watching. Really, it means everything to see you guys interact. I try and get down there as much as I can into the comments and respond to all of you. It makes me happy to engage. Whether the comments are positive or negative, it's still very fun to interact with you guys. So I appreciate you so much for watching, and I will, of course, see you next time. Best player in college football. That Georgia and Ohio State game, New Year's Eve, is going to be a classic.
Josh Blunder. Hi, everybody. I'm Josh Blunder. To the 40, 35, 30. Espinosa to the 20.